What prepares you for that? Good question. We're fortunate. Long ago, my mom was queen. People around the UK are full of theories about why Princess Anne left Buckingham Palace. Anne bid an emotional goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II and reflected about how happy she was to be with her mother in her final hours. She is one of the hardest working royals, therefore her absence from the house has sparked suspicions of a monarchy shift. Could the royal family enter a new era? What does that signify for her as Charles III's secretary? Stay tuned for updates. Going gone. The death of Queen Elizabeth II upset many, and suspicions spread regarding the royal family's future. Princess Anne's quiet but crucial exit to Buckingham Palace was much discussed. Some thought it was a tribute to her late mother, while others said it meant the royal family was changing fundamentally. After walking with the Queen's coffin, Anne said being with her mother in her final 24 hours was an honor and a pleasure. Interestingly, this occurrence popularized Anne. YouGov found her approval rate at 71%, making her one of the most liked royals. Anne seems calm, but her friends say this is one of her most emotional periods. She seemed to be torn between sadness and duty at the Westminster Hall vigil and her unique role as the coffin walker. Not only that, Anne had a brief excursion to Scotland when she left Buckingham Palace. Speculation of royal family changes ensued. Anne is hardworking and committed to the kingdom. Could she take on more under King Charles III? Was the media overthinking how the royal family works again? Thoughts and guesses. Conspiracy theories circulated. Princess Anne's departure from Buckingham Palace was supposed to signal a government power shift. Some feared King Charles III would be depending on his sister more and requested her to be his primary counselor. Most of these statements are untrue, but they help tell the story. Anne has always been the monarchy's most reliable worker. Think about it. Princess Anne performed over 11,000 royal tasks from 2002 to 2022. For 20 years, there have been multiple events daily. Her tireless public service, especially via Save the Children, is admired worldwide. Anne kept working after her mother died, despite the hardships. She attended key events like the Westminster Hall Vigil. She guarded alongside her brothers in a poignant and rare display of family solidarity. However, she left Buckingham Palace for real. Anne's visit to Edinburgh amid the Queen's mourning showed how much she loved Scotland and its people. One royal family employee claimed Princess Anne has always had a special link to Scotland, emphasizing how essential she was there. She demonstrated her grief and royal loyalty by carrying the Queen's casket and visiting memorials. Anne's ability to reconcile work with self-expression makes her distinctive. Volunteering and thinking about her mother's impact make Anne relatable to the public. She was more anchored in the royal family since she admitted how devastated the country was when the Queen died. Not merely out of respect, it showed her importance to the royal family and the nation. Her choice to walk alongside to Queen Elizabeth II's coffin instead of riding in a carriage with her brothers indicated her closeness to her mother. This image of Anne walking respectfully affected millions worldwide. She displayed her strength and devotion to the Queen's legacy in that time. Anne's actions at this time suggest a slight but significant shift in public perception of the royal family. Although King Charles III has been in the spotlight, many regard Anne as the unsung hero of this change. She stabilizes change with her pragmatic, no-nonsense attitude and tireless work ethic. Through decades of service and leadership in over 300 groups, she's been nicknamed the hardest-working royal. Anne and her late mother, the Queen, got along. They admired and shared principles, especially duty and service. A close acquaintance recalled how the Queen sought Anne's honest advice because of her sharp wit and straightforwardness. In the Queen's latter years, this relationship was obvious, and Anne's actions after her death demonstrated her anguish and her duty to continue her mother's mission. Watch as we go into her history and facts. Journey of Princess Anne. Her birth name was Princess Anne Elizabeth Alice Louise. Born on August 15, 1950, she carried royal baggage. She was born at 11:50 a.m. and weighed 6 pounds, according to the press. Hyde Park fired a 21-gun salute to celebrate the new queen. In 2 months, York Archbishop Cyril Garber christened her in Buckingham Palace's exquisite music chamber. The event was traditional. Anne's life has always been about responsibility and dedication. At 18, she created a Shropshire Educational and Training Center in 1969, her first public event. Consider the young royal poised and determined. She started her new career with a natural sense of obligation that would last for years. Her dedication to causes set her apart. In 1970, she became president of Save the Children UK, beginning a lifetime of community service. It went beyond a title. Anne dedicated herself to the cause and traveled to war-torn areas to see the effects. She connected with over 300 organizations, groups, and military regiments worldwide, expanding her effect. Her dedication is evident. She excelled at horse sports too. Princess Anne was the first British royal to compete in the Olympics. Yes! Britain dispatched her to Montreal in 1976 on a horse team. It made the nation proud. Her daughter Zara Phillips followed suit in 2012. She earned silver in London Olympics team eventing. Great gift. Catch though. Anne's dedication goes beyond athletics and philanthropy. She holds honorary postings in regiments across the UK, Canada, and New Zealand, giving her military authority. Since 2012, she has been an admiral, showing her military support. Tradition and technology blend beautifully in her life. With over 480 official travels abroad and many US events, Anne has always been in the spotlight. Her work ethic is famous. She attended around 2,000 events from 2016 to 2019. That exceeds her brothers and most royals. Why is her announcement that she is leaving Buckingham Palace so important? Understanding her personal journey and its UK-wide repercussions requires further information. She went from little princess to strong and caring. Princess Anne's career has always hinged on balancing royal custom and individuality. She proved her bravery during the 1974 mall kidnapping attempt. The 23-year-old princess's automobile broke down on her route to Buckingham Palace. Anne calmly defied an armed attacker's order to leave, stating, "Not bloody likely that one act of defiance made her one of the fiercest royals." Consider her emotional reaction to leaving Buckingham Palace. It represents her family's history, not just a property, it's more than an address change. Anne, always realistic, undoubtedly sees the royal narrative alteration as necessary. The excitement is growing. She's connected to the house in multiple ways. Her baptism and other major events took place at Buckingham Palace's music room. Anne has always preferred minimalist style. She lives on a rural farm in Gatcombe Park, which contrasts with Buckingham Palace and illustrates her groundedness. The farm's pastured Highland cows, Gloucester Old Spot pigs, and Wiltshire horned sheep demonstrate Anne's calmer side. So why does it matter? She never considered Princess Anne a formal name. As a normal person who drives herself to events, takes care of her horse gear, and uses her own pen, people can relate to her. People call her the hardest working queen for a reason. Anne may get muddy walking through Gatcombe Park's fields or need a scarf at a rugby match. Such insights into her life are intriguing because they reflect a princess who prioritizes duty and relationship before fortune. Anne participated in 18 Olympic Games as an athlete and IOC member. She was the first royal HGV licensee. These elements indicate an unconventional royal who mixes old and new. As we consider her news, we should recall how her lifelong dedication to service has touched millions. It's not just about leaving home. To understand Princess Anne's announcement, we must rethink 21st century service. We must examine her life circumstances that made her the royal family's hidden hero. One is helping people, which she does hard. Anne didn't become Save the Children UK president because she was 20. She traveled extensively to reach isolated locations. She regularly put herself in danger to see how hard it was for the individuals she wished to aid. Consider that she has worked for the charity for decades and made over 90 trips to Ethiopia, Sierra Leone, and Bangladesh to advocate for at-risk children. She stood out because she was involved, unlike royals. Towns sweating in the sun, listening to a mother complain about feeding her kids. This picture describes her. A queen who lives a cause, not merely endorses it. Her global impact goes beyond philanthropy. Anne maintains excellent military links as colonel-in-chief of various regiments worldwide. She often visits isolated troops around the holidays to lift spirits. Her generosity and toughness make her popular with servicemen. Much further. A retired officer remembered Anne eating with overseas soldiers. He reportedly informed her she didn't require special treatment because she ate the same meals and spoke like them. Let's remember her contributions to horse sports. I won gold at the 1971 European Eventing Championships for more than myself. Then, we were proud of our country. Anne rode Doublet, her mother's horse, to demonstrate her talent and determination. This reflected her lifestyle. Soon, her leadership of the British Olympic Association helped approve the London 2012 Games. Her lengthy history of sports support culminated here. Despite her success, Anne has always remained quiet. British folks like her because she's tough and quiet. This makes her announcement to depart Buckingham Palace more poignant. This alteration affects the royal family. How does it match Anne's royal definition? Answer: her function altered as the institution modernized and she changed royal life today. Institutional update. Consider how Princess Anne's role has changed as people react to her departing Buckingham Palace. Anne was constantly innovative, blending heritage and modernity. Her decision to leave the palace displays her foresight. The government must evolve to stay relevant in the 21st century, she believes. But why now? Anne's reasons are unlikely to be convenience or personal choice. Her choice seems to reflect her lifelong goal of service over grandeur. Buckingham Palace has been a hub of royal family transition in recent years. Anne's departure indicates decentralization and reality. Buckingham Palace has traditionally been more than a house. It shows the government's stability and importance. Anne has always used it for business, not home. Gatcombe Park is her safe spot to focus on family, horses, and gardening, her priorities. Picture Anne's typical Gatcombe Park day. As she cares for her livestock, the morning sun turns the countryside bright. Highland cows graze while Anne, clad in her sensible attire, watches over her working farm. She relaxes here. Her transfer from Buckingham Castle, where she lived, is not a retreat, it claims. Anne lives by her ideals of connection, hard effort, and humility. This person reportedly responded, "You don't get prizes for doing the obvious." Anne was dedicated to her royal duties. In 2019, she was the royal family's busiest with over 500 public activities. Her passion has defined service, and leaving the palace doesn't change that. Showing varied leadership styles improves it. The public has always loved Anne's hands-on approach. She personally thanked field personnel at military testing grounds during the COVID-19 epidemic. Her appearance wasn't a show, it was a thank you. Time like this shows why people admire her. How does this change affect the palace's future? Anne's choice fits the royal family's modernization, one that may change roles and duties in the future. Consider how this may look. Princess Anne left Buckingham Palace for more than herself. It shows the royal family's changing duty mentality. The monarchy has long valued symbols and habit, and Buckingham Palace has always symbolized continuity. Anne's pick reflects a more practical and modern royal outlook. Anne's actions resonate with younger, more progressive people. She shows how the government may change by stepping away from Buckingham Palace, something crucial when people are interested and demand a lot from one another. Anne has always worked hard. She has worked with over 300 organizations, including the British Olympic Association and Save the Children Fund. Her love of real life makes her one of the most famous royals. She shifts attention from royal symbols to her legacy work by departing Buckingham Palace. Imagine Anne visiting a Kenyan community for Save the Children. People meet her with love and gratitude, not fanfare. She kneels to listen to kids tell her stories. She values these times most. She elected to depart Buckingham Palace, demonstrating her preference for impact over formality. Yes, more, Anne always had a minor but profound influence on the royals. She's nicknamed the monarchy's worker because she leads by example. Seeing her depart the palace may change how other royals blend tradition and modernity. The royal family is adjusting to a fast-paced environment. With Prince William's environmental protection and Prince Harry's mental health efforts, the younger royals are redefining royalism. Anne's move proves that even the most rigid institutions can evolve. More than just the younger royals are modernizing. Anne has proved that inventiveness and adaptability are timeless. Her virtual charity activities during the pandemic showed she could interact with people in innovative ways. How does this affect Princess Anne perceptions? When she exits Buckingham Palace, a new era may begin. One where her legacy is her contributions, not her titles or location. Discover what the people say and how it may affect the throne. The public said. Princess Anne's departure from Buckingham Palace has mainly been well received, however some are startled. She has long been considered the ideal royal assignment, a stable part of a shifting administration. When she leaves, it feels like one era ends and a new one begins. Many believe this pick reflects Anne's long-standing regard and admiration. Princesshood isn't on hold for her. She is modernizing service by emphasizing function above spectacle. Anne proves that kings and queens are royal because of their subjects, not their palaces. Example, her legendary hard effort. Anne's dedication is shown in numerous ways, such as when she attended a charity event in severe weather since she promised. These little things make her one of the royal family's hardest workers. Don't forget her humor. Anne has always had a grounded, personable demeanor, which has garnered her followers, whether it's a caustic wedding quip or her honest statements about loving basic things. Just behind Queen Elizabeth, 74% of people trusted Princess Anne, according to a recent poll. Second, this trust comes from years of regular, significant contributions to causes at home and abroad. Her departure from Buckingham Palace feels more like a change in service than a goodbye. Imagine Anne hosting horse events, teaching young riders to ride, or quietly working on her projects at Gatcombe Park. In the fields, she shows how dedicated the monarchy is to service. We can learn from Anne's choice that leadership isn't about title or location. Daily action makes a difference. Her decision to leave Buckingham Palace shows her character and that even old traditions may improve. People watching this following part know one thing. Princess Anne's legacy will remain because of her values, not her location. She leaves Buckingham Palace to show that tradition and change can coexist and that assisting people is the most essential royal duty. Princess Anne goes forth with a lifetime of dedication, strength, and grace as Buckingham Palace gates close. She leaves the UK inspired and possibly dumbfounded. Is Anne's depot a new beginning for the Queen or a tribute to her mother? Her sincerity and dedication have earned her a royal family favorite. You think? Did her leaving shock the UK for multiple reasons? Comment below with your thoughts. For royal updates, like, share, and follow before leaving. Learn more about the House of Windsor in our next film.